So welcome, ladies. Welcome to our May 16th One Woman Connected session. And it's just a way to be able to, all of us to stay connected, learn all the stuff that's going on with One Woman. There's no doubt we keep things pretty busy around here, especially traveling, doing fearless events lately. And then it's an opportunity for members to get to know each other. So every connected session, I feature a different empowered member to be able to share a little bit about themselves, what they do, who they are, so that you can connect with them, whether that's, a product or a service that you're needing for yourself or for your business, whether it's somebody you might want to collaborate with, do business with, just get to know better and have a virtual coffee. That's what it's all about, is connecting with amazing women from right around the world. And that's what we do at One Woman. So welcome, ladies. I'm glad you could be here, and welcome to all those that's watching over at the Facebook page. Like I said, I'm also recording this, so if the link didn't work for you today, I'm so sorry. And not to worry though, I'll send it out through our newsletter. That'll go out tomorrow as a replay, so that you can go back and watch this, that if you're missing it, or if you're on our connected page, you can watch it there. If you are not on our One Woman Connected page, I definitely encourage you to make sure that you are on it. So let's see if I can post the link in the chat here, that if you're not on our One Woman Connected page, got to change this to everyone, make sure you join the page, because it also keeps you up to date with everything that's going on with One Woman, all the opportunities that's coming up, whether that's speaking, whether that's things to do with our Speakers Bureau, whether that's our Empowerment Academy, all the things that's going on. So I post all of that stuff on that page, as well as our empowered members can advertise and promote what they're doing through that page. So if you're an empowered member, make sure that you sign up for the page. You can post things on there, let other members know what you have going on as well. So if you're not a part of that page, make sure you join that. Totally free to join the Facebook group page. Things that's happening. Oh my goodness. Well, lots going on. A lot of fearless summits coming up. We just finished one in Ottawa. I saw Daphne was on here. She totally rocked the stage at our Ottawa event on Saturday. What a beautiful event that was. Had so much fun with the fearless women in Ottawa. And maybe you came to that event. Actually, I see Kavita here who attended the event. So, it's a great way to be able to stay connected and to be able to meet other members from right around the world. So next coming up is our Newark event. So I'm literally home, I think 48 hours. I got to repack my suitcase and off I go to do our Newark Summit this coming Saturday. So of course that event is all full for speakers, but if you live in that area and you'd like to attend that event, feel free to drop me an email. I'd love to send you a ticket or two if you want to bring a guest with you. We have a few seats left for that event. And it's a great way to be able to experience a live event if you haven't been to one before. Last couple of years, we did a lot of things online, but now it's so nice to be out there doing live events again. And I always say nothing beats the energy of being in person. So if you're able to join us and you live nearby, like I said, just drop me an email. Happy to send you a ticket or two to be able to come. Then I'm gone to Greece for a little while with our 100 Most Powerful Women, but I'm flying back to do the Boston Summit. So I'm going to be out of the office for quite some time, but I'll be checking some emails sporadically, but hopefully not too much. Really looking forward to just enjoying some downtime in Greece along with doing our retreat there. I see Clara on here, so I'll be drinking some nice Greek wine with Clara in a week or two. But yeah, we're coming back to do our Boston Summit, which that's coming up on June the 11th. So that event, I believe, is also now full for speakers. But again, if you're in that area and you want to attend the event, just let me know. And then we have our Toronto event coming up on June 25th. That event is also now full for speakers. So that's kind of one of the perks of being an empowered member, is learning first and foremost the speaking opportunities that's coming up, and to have first opportunity to be able to speak at events. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, because I was a little scared to start planning new events until all the events that needed to happen in 2020 happened. But I'm jumping the gun a little bit, because I'm one of those planners, organized, A-type personalities that likes to have lots of time to make sure I plan things and do it to the highest potential that it possibly can be done at. So I planned our first event to kick off this fall. I'm hoping to take a little bit of time off this summer and just enjoy the summer. But I'll be raring to go come September for sure. And I looked at, some of the suggestions that ladies have sent me in terms of where they'd like to go. I also reflected on some of the events that we've done before that were a whole lot of fun and that we didn't plan in our 2020 tour. So one of those cities is a city that we had an absolute blast at. It was one of our biggest events in the US. And yeah, it was just a powerful day and a fun day and a great way to be able to, use it as a speaking opportunity to be able to, build and grow your business from the stage, but also be able to add maybe a couple extra days and have some fun, because in September, we're heading to Las Vegas. Yes, we're heading to Las Vegas. So that's going to happen on Saturday, September 24th is going to be the event. Just working on the location right now, but it's right off the strip. So I'm looking at some Bon Voy hotels right now, so probably the Marriott there. And so it's close to the strip to be able to do some fun stuff while you're there, but also to be able to spend a powerful and fearless day with the fearless women of Las Vegas. And gosh, last time we had so much fun. So I know Daphne already had seen it on there because my assistant was traveling this weekend to Toronto. So she had to put it on there a little bit early. And Daphne, you're the only person who spotted it on there and sent me an email regarding it. So good eye and way to stay on top of all the stuff we have going on with One Woman. So if you're an empowered member and you've already spoken at an event recently, like in the past year, and you have no changes to your speaker's application and you want to speak at the Vegas Summit, then just drop me an email and just let me know, because we can use your speaker's application on file for you to be able to speak at the Vegas event. If you do have changes, and by changes, I mean your talk title is different, your professional title is different, your headshot is different, any of that kind of stuff, we do need a new speaker's application completed. Just because my team works from all over the place. Like right now, my graphics girl is in the Netherlands. That's where her family lives. So yeah, so we just need access for our team to be able to log in no matter where they are in the world, to be able to cut and paste your information. So keep that in mind when you're filling out your speaker's application, is that you always have it filled out exactly as you want the public to see it, because our team just cuts and pastes from it. So they're taking your word as to how you want things, exactly how you want things, and that's how they're designing your ad, the slide that goes on the big screen at all the events, your speaker's introduction that I introduce you at the events, how you want to be introduced, as well as, the picture and all that kind of stuff that you use. Again, make sure you have a high resolution professional headshot. No selfies, no pictures of pictures, no, make sure you have a high resolution JPEG that you've attached to that, so it's easy for my team to be able to use. So those were a few tips that I wanted to mention about completing a speaker's application, but that was my sneak peek for today, is that we are kicking things off in the fall and starting with Vegas. I am going to plan probably a couple more events throughout the fall, but I will do those when I come back. So I'll be back in the office the week of June 12th or 13th, whatever that is, because the Boston event is on the 11th. I'll fly home on the 12th, so I'll be back at work again on the 13th of June, answering your emails and doing all that kind of stuff. So before I turn things over to Marilyn, does anybody have any questions at all that I can answer for you before I turn things over? So Linda was planning a girls' trip to Vegas in September. So this is perfect. Yes, it's funny. My assistant goes, oh, I'm actually in Vegas with my family that weekend. So it's funny how it all works out. Yeah. So, and Tasha's booked. Well, don't worry, Tasha. I'm sure there'll be another event coming up before the end of the year. There's also the World Summit coming up on September 10th. That's an online event. So that one there, if you can't travel or you're not wanting to travel yet, we're still going to be doing the world summits as well. So Dava, want to go to Vegas? I've never been, Dava. Oh my goodness. Yes, well, you're going to have to go. It's just way too much fun. Just people watching alone, just walking the strip. That's an experience in itself. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a little Vegas weekend for sure. Well, I'm going to turn things over to Marilyn and I'm going to introduce her. But if you have any questions at all, today I just spoke about the speaking. Of course, you know, the Empowered membership entails a lot of things. And if you're already a member, I already sent you an email of everything that's included in your membership. If you have any questions on anything today, this is an opportunity to be able to ask it, and that I'm here to be able to answer your questions. Happy to do that. I'll also post the link to the Empowered membership, that if you're not a member right now and you know you're going to be wanting to speak, or you want to teach through the Empowerment Academy, or you're wanting to be part of our Speakers Bureau or any of that kind of stuff, that's the link where you can get your membership. The other option is if you're an Inspired member, which those are members who join to be able to support the work that we do to empower women and girls globally, you can just drop me an email and I can upgrade your membership for you. So the Empowered membership is $97 a month, but you get to try your first month for $39. Memberships are not locked in. You can quit your membership at any time if you decide that you don't want to be a member anymore. So I know that's what I did with Dava. Was she was an Inspired member and she had emailed me last week or the week before and wanted to upgrade her membership. So it's easy for me to be able to do that. It's a newer membership that we put into place to really help women who have businesses to be able to advertise and promote what you do to our 500,000 women around the world, to be able to speak, to be able to teach, to do all the great things that I know most of our members are wanting to do. Yeah, you leveled up, Dava. You're always leveling up. There's no doubt in my mind. So the other thing is that we'll be back doing another Empowered session in June. So I don't have the exact date. I do have the exact date. I know Leona is speaking at that event, but we'll probably still do a few throughout the summer. So if you're an Empowered member and if you want to share like Marilyn is today, to be able to let other members know what you do, a little bit about your story and how they can work with you or connect with you or collaborate with you or whatever the case is, that's what these sessions are for, is really to highlight our members so everybody can get to know each other. So just drop me an email if you'd like to do that, and we'll get you scheduled in for a date. So I'm going to introduce Marilyn. Yes, Phoebe, you're on June 22nd. Well, good to know you knew the date. I would have had to look that one up because I knew I changed it on you. All right, I'm going to introduce Marilyn and she can take it away. So Marilyn Russo is a women's empowerment expert, speaker, coach, IT leader, and humanitarian. Her mission is to empower women from all walks of life to move through fear, tap into faith, to create the life they want and deserve. Marilyn has over 30 years of experience in information technology and 10 years as a mindset and leadership coach. She is the creator of Awaken Your Inner Spirit, Breakthrough Retreats, a transformational experience into self-awareness, resiliency, reboot, and relaunch for high-achieving women who are ready to play full out and take their lives and careers to the next level. Marilyn is a native of Haiti, speaks 4 languages, and is a breast cancer survivor. Please welcome the amazing Marilyn Russo.
Hello, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. I'm super excited and just looking forward to, sharing a little bit about me over the next 15, 20 minutes, hopefully learning about you. I'm so happy to be part of this group and just really looking forward to a great time. Thank you, Charla. So you've heard a little bit about my background and you may be wondering, okay, so how did she go from working in technology to becoming a coach? And that's a great question. So if it's okay, I'd like to take a few minutes and tell you a little bit about how I made the transition. Before I do that, I'd like to ask you a question, all right? And then please put the answer in the chat. Has there ever been a time in your life where you just got some news, you've gotten some bad news that you just didn't see coming? It just hit you like a ton of bricks. Has this happened to any of you? Just checking the chat. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, of course. I see these answers. Keep them coming. Absolutely. Yes, yes. Well, that's exactly where I found myself about 4 years ago. April 2018, I went for a regular annual mammogram. Get a call from my doctor. Hello, Marilyn? I said, yes. Are you sitting down anywhere? I said, I can be. So I sat down and I heard those 4 words that no woman in the world ever wants to hear. You have breast cancer. My heart dropped. I stayed silent for probably a good 10 seconds. And I said, are you sure? And she said, yes. And I don't even remember what happened from that point on. All I could hear was blah, 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 because I'm thinking, this is impossible. This can't be. So I hung up the phone and I immediately just went into denial and said, this can't be me. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't have a family history of breast cancer. I eat well. As a matter of fact, I only eat organic foods. I exercise, not overweight. This cannot be me. So I immediately went for a second opinion. And a week later, I found myself sitting in the doctor's office, getting the same diagnosis I was given a week ago, and confirming that, yes, this was indeed the truth. And it hit me like, oh my gosh, I really, really do have breast cancer. And I thought to myself, 1 out of 8 women in the United States will get diagnosed with breast cancer. And I was one of them. I couldn't believe it. A lot of time we think these type of things happen to other people, and we never really think that we could be also a victim. And so here I was, and I just had this major, major fear just take me over. Immediately from the time I got this news, I stopped sleeping, I stopped eating, I stopped talking. I remember going to doctors' offices for visits with my family, and they were the one talking for me. I had completely given up, so much so that I remember there was a time that I even considered taking my life away. I figured, well, if I did it, it would be on my own terms, because I didn't want to die a painful death. That's all I could think of. And some of you may know what I'm talking about. So many times when we hear the word cancer, what comes to mind? We think death, we think the worst, right? And it's unfortunate because there's been so many great advances in medicine, in technology, that this is no longer the truth. But this was my reality at the time. And so every time I would think about the consequences, I would think about going for treatment. I couldn't even see myself going halfway. When the doctor told me that I would have to have chemotherapy, and I thought, what? There's no way, no way. And talk about surgery and radiation, it felt overwhelming for me. And I just didn't see myself going through any of it. I didn't think I could either. The fear that I was experiencing, I was losing weight, I was not eating. It was terrible, let alone having to go through months of this. So I immediately went into a deep depression. And although my family continued to be very supportive, they would take me to the doctor's appointment, but I pretty much gave up. I gave up on life. I didn't care anymore. And I would just stay in my room, in my bed. And I remember one day my son walked into the room. He's 21 at the time. And he says, Mom, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, sure. He says, Mom, do you remember how you always tell me that no matter what happens to me in life, to never ever give up? And I said, yeah. He says, well, ever since you got this diagnosis, you've done nothing but given up on yourself and you've given up on us. I think it's time you take your own advice, Mom. And he walked out of the room. Hit me right then and there. He was right. I was definitely not practicing what I had preached. And I felt embarrassed, really, because I didn't want my son to think that everything that I had taught him about life was a big lie. But yet, here I was, just laying in bed, just completely taking on a victim mentality and not even trying to fight. And so I thought about it. And the next day I got up, I remember I had a different attitude. Although I was still weak, still feeling down, just no energy whatsoever. But I decided that I was gonna fight. I was gonna fight for my children. I was gonna fight for my grandson, who was 8 months at the time. And most of all, I was gonna fight for me. I didn't know how I was gonna do it. I just know that I couldn't bear letting my kids down, especially my son. I needed to prove, I wanted to be an example for them, although I really didn't know how. But what I started doing is immediately that I made this decision, I started enrolling people to help me. I knew I couldn't go through this alone. And I don't ever wish that anyone goes through cancer alone. So I was blessed to have a pretty good support system. And where I didn't have support, I looked for it. So I enrolled my friends, my family, my church, my pastor. I found myself a support group. Anywhere that I could have support, I would go for it. My medical team was there, very supportive as well. But I created this bigger team for myself that would help me, not just physically, but emotionally, and most of all, spiritually. And with that said, I started making an effort every single day to do a little something towards my spiritual and emotional healing. And so I developed a ritual that I practiced every single day. And this ritual was a combination of numerous activities, that included mindfulness, visualization, yoga, and a number of other practices that I don't really have the time to go into. And this is one of the things that I do at my retreat, is where we go through the entire system that I've developed. But for the purposes of this presentation, I will talk about some of it a little later on. So to continue with my story, is I started practicing these, what I would consider to be activities that were contributing to my holistic healing. I did it every single day. Every single day. I would push myself to get out of bed. On the days that I could get out of bed, if I could take 2 steps forward, I would just take 2 steps and go back. On the days I couldn't get out of bed because I was too sick, I stayed in bed and I allowed myself and gave my body permission to rest. But I never stopped praying. I never stopped practicing gratitude. I never stopped focusing on my mindset, which was a huge, huge piece. So about 3 months into this practice, something very strange started happening. I realized that although I was in the middle of chemotherapy, and it was rough, I'm telling you, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it was rough. But what I realized is all of a sudden, I was eating again. I was sleeping again. And most of all, I was talking. I was going now to my doctors and I was able to have a conversation. And I realized that all of a sudden, that strong fear that I had from the very beginning that just took me over was gone. It's as if I had control of this, you know, and I was still fighting cancer. But I like to say that although I had breast cancer no longer had a hold of me. I was no longer hostage to it. I really felt strong, and I felt like, you know what, this was another thing in life that came my way, and I was going to deal with it with the best way I can. My mindset was completely different. So I continued my practice. There was evidence that it was working. So I continued with this practice. And before I knew it, I had completed 6 months of chemotherapy. Oh my gosh, what a victory this was for me. You have no idea. I just couldn't see myself through it. But because I had completely changed the way I was looking at this situation, everything else shifted for me. So I was so happy. This was huge, a major milestone I had overcome. And then a month later came time for surgery. And I remember on the day of surgery, my family was there sitting, waiting for me to be called in. And I was very calm, which is very unusual for me. Anybody who knows me in the past, you know, I'd be just panicking, crying, because I'm about to have major surgery. By the way, I had a double mastectomy. And I'm sitting there very, very calm, very peaceful, completely surrendered. And they couldn't believe it. And my son and my daughter kept asking, Mom, are you okay? Are you? I said, yeah, I'm fine. And I really was fine. So I went through surgery and everything went well. And I remember being home, recovering about 3 days later, and I got a phone call from my surgeon. And she says, hey, Marilyn. I said, yes, how you doing? I said, I'm doing good. You know, I was doing as good as I could, you know, of course, discomfort, pain. And she says to me, I have your pathology report, and I figured you might want to know the results. And I said, sure. Now, for those of you who don't know what a pathology report is anytime someone has cancer surgery, they remove the cancer cells and they take them to a lab. And they analyze the cells to see, you know, if there's any residual cancer, how to best treat the disease, and so forth. So she says, I've got your report, and it's actually quite good. She says, as a matter of fact, it couldn't be any better. She says, Marilyn, you had a complete response to chemotherapy. We found no cancer cells in your body. So there's no need for any further treatment for you. So heal and go live your life. Oh my gosh. I remember raising my arms to the sky and saying, thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the victory, because I never, ever thought this day would come. And wow. On this day, I realized the power of the mind. I realized the power of really having a positive, growth-oriented mindset. I am convinced that the emotional piece played a big role in my recovery. I am convinced 100% that in order to heal from any disease, it really starts at the spiritual level, at the emotional level. And so because I engage in this holistic style of healing, where we were caring for just my mind, my body, and my spirit, I really believe this is what helped my healing, what led to my healing. So on this day, I made a huge decision. I not only decided that I was not going to live life the way I had been living, this was a huge wake-up call for me. But I decided that I was going to live life intentionally, authentically, and faithfully. And ever since this day, everything has changed in my life. I've developed courage, I've developed strength, I've become resilient, confident, and all of this took me making a decision to become a different person, a better person. a new person. And I'm telling you, there's been so many changes in my life as a result. One of the biggest things that's happened for me was the ability to have the courage to walk away from a 30-year marriage that was not serving me. And many, many other decisions have been made since then. And I'm convinced that it's because I was able to shift, to learn, to grow, and to develop the characteristics that I needed to thrive during times of adversity. So today, I would love to take a few minutes. I know we don't have a lot of time to share some of these practices with you. Obviously, it's about 10 different things. And, in my retreats, we do a 3-day retreat and we go deep dive into each of these so that women can develop the strength and the courage to move past their fears, their setbacks, and reach their full potential. And I'm telling you, if I can do it, you can do it. And so the first thing that is so, so important for you to develop is to have faith. I'm going to put on my glasses because I want to be able to read my notes that I took for you. It's very important that you learn how to develop faith. Now, Martin Luther King said, faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. It's believing in the unknown. And I'll be the first one to tell you, it's not easy. But if you intentionally work on developing your faith, you will be amazed at how much it does for you. Faith really leads to freedom. If you want to be free from worries, you want to be free from anxiety, free from self-doubt, you deserve to take the time to work on your faith. I remember my pastor saying to me, Marilyn, fear and faith cannot coexist. Because I was living in such fear, this was evidence that I had no faith. And because of it, I was determined to work on my faith. As a Christian woman, I remember one of my favorite scriptures says, for God does not give us a spirit of fear, but of love, of power, and of a sound mind. So I knew that fear didn't come from God, and I wanted nothing to do with it. So for this reason, I really enrolled in working and learning to just trust in the universe, trust in your higher power. And I did that consistently. And because of it, I learned to maintain a positive spirit, even in the face of adversity. So I urge you to seek strength. Look for strength through your higher power in order to get through difficult situations, because they will come. That's life. But if you're equipped, the better equipped you are at overcoming these obstacles, the more likely you are to reach your goals and your dreams. The second step that I'd like to share with you is gratitude. Gratitude sounds like such a simple thing, but a lot of people fail to practice it. Gratitude shifts your entire outlook on life. No matter how bad things seem, they could always be worse. I remember when I was thinking of my situation, sure, I had breast cancer. It was not a good thing at all. But at least I had the opportunity to go through treatment. Do you know how many women don't even have that options? These options? Some women are told from the get-go that it's stage 4, there's not much that can be done. So think of your own situation. And I invite you to not focus so much on the bad side of it, but also think of what good may be coming out of this. Because usually if we take the time to focus, we will find that every situation has some good and some bad side. That's where we talk about polarity in life. You take the time and you find out, what, no matter how bad things are, things could always be worse. And because of that, I was grateful. I was grateful to the doctors. I was grateful for living in the best country, as far as I'm concerned, in the world, that I had access to healthcare. There's so much that we can be grateful for. So I say, spend time every single day just think about 3 things that you can be grateful for. Things that we usually take for granted, like the air we breathe. Think about the importance that we're able to breathe fresh air, clean air, that we have clean running water. There's so many third world countries that have no access to clean water. You know, one of the ways you can start practicing gratitude is to just grab a journal, whether in the morning or at night, and just jot down 3 things, just 3 things that you're grateful for the day. It'll help you organize your thoughts, clear your mind, and just help you process your life experiences. Because once you start really focusing, you realize there's so much for us to be grateful for. And the last thing I want to share with you is about mindfulness. Mindfulness is about being present. It's the ability to train your mind to be in the present moment. So many times we're rushing, thinking about our next move, thinking about our appointment, thinking about what we have to do, and we fail to enjoy the present moment. And the present, it's called the present because it really is a present. You know, we plan for tomorrow, we plan for next year, but the reality is what we have is today. Tomorrow is not promised, whether you have cancer or not. Nobody's promised that we're gonna wake up tomorrow until that day comes, and we are. And that's the reason why every single day, the first thing I do when I get out of bed and I say, thank you, God, for giving me another day. So make the best out of today. That's what you have. Each day that you wake up, treasure it, be grateful for it, and make the best of it. Okay? You know, the way you can practice mindfulness is just do something that directs your attention to the now, to the present moment. It could be going for a walk. It could be just enjoying nature, or maybe spending time with a loved one. You know, I love to get on the floor and play with my grandson. Okay, so it's really important to remain grounded in the present in order to conquer your fears. Because a lot of time our fears are about something that hasn't happened yet, that we're already predicting is going to happen. And that's why, you know, you may have heard of the acronym. FEAR stands for false evidence appearing real. It's something that has not happened, but yet we are mobilized by it because it feels real to us. But if we let go of what has not happened yet, what is not here yet, and we focus on the here and the now, it'll free your mind from so many worries. Because really, your body, our bodies, is always in the present moment. So it makes sense for our minds to occupy the same space and remain in alignment at all times. I know that we're pretty short on time. I don't want to take up all of this session, and I'd love to have some questions. So I'm going to stop there. I would love to connect with you. And the best way to probably get a hold of me, if you have your cell phone, I want all of you to grab your cell phones and go to Marilyn360.com. So it's www.Marilyn, Marilyn, 360.com. And when you get there, you will see a contact. So just click on contact and scroll all the way down and click on save contact. And you can send me a text, you can just email me, you've got my social media, it's everything about me in one. So let's connect. I'd love to support you with your journey. We're here together on the same journey. So I hope that this has been useful, and I look forward to meeting each of you and connecting with you in the future. Thank you, and thank you, Charlotte, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you for sharing about your story, about the work that you do. How often do you do retreats?
Every 3 months. So I have one coming up in July. It's in Orlando, because I live here in South Florida, and it's just 3 days of empowerment of life-changing transformations. And it's about really helping women take their power back, take control of their lives and live the life that God intended for them. That's exactly what I had to do for myself. And I've dedicated my life to helping other women do the same, because Charlotte, I realized that life really is short and unpredictable.
Oh, I died last year. You don't need to tell me twice.
51 years old when I was diagnosed. I had never been sick in my life. The only
I
time
know.
I was in the hospital was to deliver my kids. And
Yes.
so many times, you know, we give our power away. We allow ourselves to take a back seat. And I want women to know that you have a life to live. You have something special to give. And let's get together. We unleash it. And I'm there to support my women with getting to where they want to be and reaching their full potential.
Yes. Well, God bless you for doing that work, because it is so important. And like I said, I had to learn that one in myself the hard way. What happened? Oh, I died of a pulmonary embolism causing cardiac arrest last year. So I had a massive blood clot that stopped my heart for a full 2 minutes. But yeah, they administered a heavy duty clot busting drug. They did 2 minutes of chest compressions, and I'm here to tell you the story still. So at less than a 10% chance of survival. So yeah, oh, your mom had that, Catherine. Yeah, you know what? Pulmonary embolisms are common. It's just the fact that the size of the blood clot, because it started in my leg. So that blood clot was from my calf to almost my groin. So it was a large slug that moved, that transferred then to my lungs, that eventually stopped my heart. But I didn't expect that to happen that day. So yeah.
Wow, you had no idea, huh?
No clue. No, I came home the day after the Fearless Washington, D.C. event. And yeah, wasn't something that was on the to-do list, but you know, you learn how to pay attention to your body, and you realize that, hey, if you don't take care of this, where's your spirit going to live?
Absolutely, absolutely. And gosh, I'm so glad that you hear that you survived this, you know, and I know you understand the importance. Once you go through these experiences, it just changes your entire perspective. And I tell women, don't do what I did. Don't wait for a life-changing experience to take your life seriously. Start today.
Yeah.
Life seriously. Figure out how you want to live.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then,
for sure.
Yes. And then, you know, get the support you need to help you get from where you are today to where you want to be, because you owe it to yourself. That's the only way to really live a life of happiness and fulfillment.
Yep. Amen to that, Marilyn. I love the work that you're doing. And the other question I have for you is that, are you open to having some other ladies involved with the retreat for different aspects or different things? I'm just thinking of some of the ladies on the call today, like somebody like Phoebe, who I think would be a great fit, that also does retreats and stuff. So are you looking for women to collaborate with?
I would love to. Yes, let's get in touch. I'm all about inspiring each other, supporting and empowering and uplifting. So anytime I meet women who are like-minded, I'm happy to collaborate. So yes, you know, let's connect. If you want to share her information, or you can have my information. Like I said, I'm on marilyn360.com. That's my website. And you know, we can text message, phone call. I'd love to you know, work with her.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's other ladies too. That was just somebody that popped into
ladies, whether
my mind as I'm looking through the link. Like, there's a lot of other amazing women who are on here today, and that's going to be, you know, watching the replay and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Phoebe just really resonated with me as somebody that.
Thank you. I'm really excited, ladies. We can do this together. You know, if you're interested in knowing more about my retreat, it's just a life-changing experience. We have loads of fun while we're changing lives. So let's connect. I'm here. I'd love to support you in any way that I can. And, you know, we're going to change the world together.
Yes. And that's the best way to do it. It's so much more fun, and when we can collaborate and, you know, use our gifts and skills together, and how much more powerful it becomes and all that kind of stuff. So I just absolutely
And
love
so
that.
fulfilling, so fulfilling. I mean, true happiness really comes when you know, you being of service, and you know, you living a life, the life that God intended for you. You know, you
Yes.
walking in your purpose. That's living. And
Yeah.
that's what I want to help women do.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you're preaching to the choir here,
I
Marilyn.
know, I know.
Awesome, ladies. So any final questions at all, ladies, for Marilyn at all, about the work that she does, about the talk that she had, anything one woman? Feel free to throw it in the chat. And if not, if something else comes to you that we get off the call and you say, oh, I should have asked whatever, I posted the link to Marilyn's website so that you can connect with her, set up a virtual coffee, a tea, a glass of wine, whatever the case might be, and and you know, learn more about each other and maybe how you can work together, collaborate, or if you're needing some help, you know, maybe you're going through something and you need that retreat for yourself. You know, nobody would have to twist my arm to head down to sunny Florida anytime. And then if you have any questions about anything one woman, so the upcoming, speaking at the upcoming Vegas event, speaking in general, or anything else that's in the membership, if you're not sure about whether you want to become a member or not, feel free to drop me a question if you have any questions about the membership, but everything's listed on there. I also created a video that kind of goes over the member benefits. And like I said, it's not anything that you're locked into, that if you decide to become a member and down the road you say this doesn't work for me, that's okay. You know, I want you to be happy with being a one woman empowered member. And sometimes it's women who just want to be an inspired member and really contribute to the work that we do on the global scene, and to be able to help girls go to school and help empower women in developing countries to break the cycle of poverty. One of the wonderful highlights from this past Saturday at the Ottawa Fearless Summit is having two of my partner charities there. So we had Lexus Beatty, who spoke about I Am Hashima and, you know, the children that they help in Kenya. And, you know, I got updates on the wonderful girls that we've sponsored to go through to school because of you. You know, that's how we're able to do this work, is it's all, you know, coming together for the greater good of all. Sometimes we say like, well, what would my 20 bucks do each month? You know, it seems so little, but when we pool all that money together, we can send lots of girls to school, and we can help lift a lot of women to break the cycle of poverty, or to get out of situations that no woman should have to ever be in. And then the other thing is, gosh, I had thought of one more thing. Oh yeah, and then the other group that was there was the Nema Children's Choir. So they're an organization that we work with out of Uganda, and they haven't been able to come to Canada for 2 years. So normally they have a choir that travels throughout Ontario and that performs, and they do all their fundraising and child sponsorships for the entire year, because they have probably between 200 and 300 children that are orphans that they're able to send to school each year. So they perform at all of our Ontario events. So if you are in Toronto and you want to come and see them perform, more of the choir is going to be at the Toronto event. We only had 3 girls in Ottawa because only 3 had their visas so far. But it was so lovely to be able to see them, because last time I saw them was in Uganda, and you know, got to visit them at the orphanage, and you know, got to just see them well, because it's one thing for us to go through a pandemic in a developed country. It's a whole other thing to go through that in a developing country when things are already so hard. So it was nice to see everyone. So anyway, ladies, I just wanted to, let's see, looks like there's any questions here. Shirley mentioned in March, you only had room for 5 empowered members, or is that some? Well, right now, what I did was I send out the email now, and at the bottom, I always say, if you have any questions about your membership and need to discuss anything with me, to let me know to plan a call. So why I had to watch how many people I took on is because I can only do so many calls in a month. But what I'm finding is that most women have been a part of One Woman in some way, shape, or form for a while, and they didn't necessarily have any questions right away. So as long as I have a little bit of flexibility with scheduling those calls, I can take on more empowered members. So I kind of learned how to do that over the last 2 or 3 weeks with just sending everything out, giving ladies the time to go through everything, because when you get that first email, it has links to everything. So whether that's speaking, whether that's the Empowerment Academy, to be able to read up on it and be able to say, like, this is something I want to explore now, or I want to put that on the back burner for right now, and this is what I'm interested in. And then if there's anything in that email that you have questions on and you say, you know what, I want to chat about that further, then we can plan a call. So no problem for more ladies to be able to sign up over this next month, just knowing that I'm probably not going to do any calls until I come back the week of June 12th. So just keep that in mind, but you'll want that much time to kind of go over everything, because I think there's 11 things that's in that original email to go through. So gives you a chance to kind of go through everything, really look at, hey, this is the thing that I really want to start with, or things that I'm most interested in. And then if you have more questions about it, you can shoot me an email, or we can plan a time to chat, because, you know, I just want to be able to answer any questions that you have. Greece is part of our 100 Most Powerful Women. So that's separate from One Woman. It's a coaching program that I run with Jackie Somerville. We do a couple retreats each year. So that's our next retreat with them. And it's coming up in a couple of weeks. I fly out right after the Newark event. And that following weekend, we're all meeting in Santorini. So if that's something that you're interested in being a part of, just drop me an email and I can send you the application. 100 Most Powerful Women is by application, but it is separate from One Woman. So we set that up because it's like a business that I started with Jackie during the pandemic. So we coach 100 women each year for their businesses. So thank you. I'm really looking forward to it for sure. A little bit of time with the girls and a little bit of R&R time as well. So I haven't traveled internationally since, gosh, 2020. Our Australia, New Zealand tour and our empowerment trip to Indonesia was the last trip. So it'll be just nice to be able to go again. I think we're all done with the pandemic at this point. So awesome, ladies. Well, I think that's all the questions. So like I said, if you think of anything afterwards, after the call, feel free to drop me an email. Make sure you connect with Marilyn. Check out her site and all the great stuff that she has coming up. And of course, you know, add her as a contact, plan a virtual coffee tea. And we look forward to seeing you in June. I will post everything. You're going to hear from Phoebe. Like I said, she's going to be our speaker. And if you are an empowered member and you want to speak at one of these coming up later this summer, maybe in the fall time, I'm going to start scheduling those sooner rather than later so that other members can get to know you. You can start getting out there as to what you do, opportunities to be able to network, connect, and collaborate. That's what this is all about. So everybody have a fabulous rest of your day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you soon. Bye, everybody.